At midnight, the tropical reefs of Indonesia are quiet. Many creatures that swim freely during the day hide deep within the fields of hard corals, motionless and silent. And for good reason. For at night, this is the domain of the predators.
Oh, it's hunting. It's hunting. Oh, what's it got?
But this is not a story about eels, sharks and other large hunters, but a mission to discover the rare and elusive creatures that really patrol these reefs at midnight.
What on earth is that?
Life that's seldom seen by anyone, and highly adapted to not only survive in this hostile environment, but thrive. One such creature is the lion's paw.
What is this thing?
These synaptid sea cucumbers are a group of cryptic invertebrates that feed on detritus in the dead of night, sweeping the seabed with their branching tentacles. This species can grow to over 1 meter in length. Now, synaptid sea cucumbers don't walk along the ocean floor like other invertebrates. Instead, they move using peristalsis, contracting muscles in waves to push fluid through their body cavity, and anchoring themselves in place using tiny microscopic hooks in their skin. But sea cucumbers like this are just one of the many creatures that emerge on these reefs after dark, although most are far more difficult to find.
Now, you probably wouldn't see this if you haven't got eagle eyes, but whilst most of the bottom is rubble like this guy here is an imposter, because this here is a little decorator crab who decorates himself with sponges and algae and all sorts, which basically means he blends in perfectly with the rubble on the ocean floor here.
The term decorator crab doesn't refer to a single species or family, but to a behaviour. These crabs actively attach pieces of algae, sponge, coral and debris to their shells, turning themselves into a moving piece of the reef. Some even attach stinging organisms like hydroids, tiny relatives of jellyfish, thus benefiting from improved camouflage and chemical defence. Try and eat this crab, and you'll risk being impaled by thousands of tiny stinging nematocysts. But other crustaceans hide in very different ways. On the sand, there's nothing to hide behind. For the critters that live here, camouflage is a little more difficult to master, and as such, the preferred method of avoiding predators isn't to blend into the seabed, but to disappear down into it. But crustaceans come in all shapes and sizes. Some are much larger and far stranger.
Oh, I can see a pair of eyeballs glowing back at me. Let's go investigate. Stealth mode activated. Oh. What's it gonna be? Oh, look at this thing! Oh my word. Oh, that's so cool. This is the slipper lobster. Look at it, it's so cool! These guys are called slipper lobsters because they look like a slipper. And because they're so flat like this, they can squeeze into the tightest spaces on the reef.
Unlike the lobsters you're used to seeing, slipper lobsters have traded long whip-like antennae for flattened shovel-like plates. These protect the head, help them wedge into deep crevices, and also block the entrance to their favourite hiding spots during the day. Their lack of large front claws also give good insight into how these crustaceans stay alive on the reefs. If given the choice between fight or flight, these critters almost always choose the latter.
So, one thing that's really interesting about the reef at night is that almost every cave, crevice and coral you look in has got loads of little fish hiding inside it. Now, during the day, these fish swim around freely on the reef, but nighttime is the domain of the predators, so they go into hiding.
Schooling fishes like surgeonfishes and butterfly fish seek refuge under large table corals.
Anything camping out underneath here? Just the usual suspects. Nice powder blue tongue. Butterfly fishes. Anything else of note? Oh, negative. We move on.
Other groups of fishes, like bannerfishes and idols, opt for a slightly more dynamic approach, hovering close to structure, remaining agile. Some species are a little more agile than others, though.
Oh, quick, run for it! Make a run for it! Not that way! That's the bottom! Oh dear.
Larger fish, like parrotfish, squeeze into the tightest of spots, sitting completely motionless. Even the reef's most dominant force the Titan triggerfish, is eager to stay hidden in the dark. But the largest caves and crevices are reserved for the reef's biggest creatures, some that are a little too hard and non-malleable to squeeze into anything smaller.
So there's a big cave down here just over this lip. Let's go and see what's hiding inside it, shall we? It's just here. You can't see it from this angle at all, but you watch when I get round the side. Oh, there's a big old sleeping hawksbill turtle in there.
Now, like all sea turtles, hawksbills breathe air. So how do they sleep? Well, at night, many turtles revisit their favourite caves or crevices, the spots on the reef that provide the most shelter from the strongest currents. These protected areas allow the turtles to slow their metabolism significantly, enabling them to remain submerged for several hours. For these reasons, they're best left alone at midnight.
Better not disturb that guy too much.
But whilst many creatures simply use caves, crevices and corals to hide in at night, some creatures spend their entire lives inside them, highly adapted to exploit these unique ecosystems. Some are common, but if you look a little closer, at midnight, rare creatures start to move.
I tell you, big corals like this one are great places to look for things at night. This one's got a load of weirdos hiding in it, including, oh yeah, one species of fish I've never seen before. What on earth is this thing? It's hairy.
At first glance, this small coral dweller looks to be a species of clown goby, but it's actually something entirely different. This is Caracanthus maculatus, the spotted coral croucher, a cryptic species that actually belongs to the scorpionfish family. These small fish possibly spend their entire lives in a single coral colony, armed with venomous spines, spotted flanks for camouflage, and thick skin covered in tiny hair-like projections that resist abrasion from the rough surface of their coral home. They're also a nightmare to film. But they don't have these Poecilopora corals to themselves. At midnight, these corals are also navigated by hawkfishes. Freckled hawkfish sit perched on the outermost tips, whilst smaller hawkfishes, like the arc-eyed hawkfish, navigate the deeper crevices, alongside the guard crabs. Unlike the fish, these guard crabs actually live symbiotically with the corals. Some are covered in pink polka dot spots, some are bright yellow. Other, more unusual species have a bulbous carapace that perfectly matches the corals they reside in. The crabs get a safe refuge, protected from pufferfish and triggerfish, but don't have the right tools to extract them. But how do the corals benefit? Well, the clue is in the name. Guard crabs guard, and there's one coral-feeding creature that patrols these reefs at night that keeps them on high alert. Unfortunately, this Goniopora coral has already been found.
So the creature hiding under here is perhaps the most famous corallivore in the world, the crown of thorns starfish. Now, in certain parts of the world, these starfish have taken over and wiped out loads of corals. But they are a natural coral predator and they're supposed to be here. And on these reefs in Indonesia, their numbers are pretty healthy. So much so that finding one like this, where is he? It's kind of unusual.
Whilst the venomous crown of thorns is perhaps the most infamous starfish on the reef, starfish diversity here, especially at midnight, is immense. Many species use the cover of darkness to feed, navigating the rocks and reef, probing for food with hundreds of tiny tube feet. Most are omnivores, scavenging on sponges, encrusting organisms, microbial films, detritus or small invertebrates, if they can catch them. Whilst most look like traditional sea stars, some have traded long, thin arms for short, stubby ones. Now, when we think of ocean biodiversity, we often think of the charismatic wildlife, like sharks, rays and eels. But of the 36 known animal phyla, only one is comprised of vertebrates. Nearly all of the animal species in the ocean, like the starfishes, are invertebrates, and many only emerge in the depths of night. Corals are also invertebrates. Some have long extended polyps, others short microscopic ones. Most shallow species make the most of the bright midday sun to produce energy, but some have evolved to feed at midnight, and for good reason.
So at night, many reef fish, including corallivores, fish that eat corals, they go into hiding, which means that corals, like the ones that are lurking underneath here, they can come out to feed without fear that their little fleshy polyps are going to get nipped off.
These sun corals are a great example of how creatures evolve to exploit different niches. Most corals compete for the most sun-flooded spots on the reef. The shaded underhangs are the worst real estate, but sun corals don't actually need the sun at all. They rely almost entirely on filter feeding, catching small morsels of food drifting through the water. Filter feeding is a common food collection strategy in the ocean, although there's one very unusual nocturnal creature that's built a much bigger net. Although to find one, you need to go a little bit deeper, where the currents run hard.
Gotta follow the compass, guys. There's north. This is our heading. We're going deeper. Let's see what we can find. So you can see how the topography here is just completely different to what it looks like in the shallows, and that's because during the day the current rips through here so quickly that big corals that sit off the bottom just get swept away. Okay, so we're at the deep ledge now, and the great white was seen about 50 meters that way.
Yes, one of the only great whites ever filmed in Indonesia was filmed literally here.
Oh, that scared me. It's just a leaf. It's just a leaf. Not a great white shark, thankfully. As they say, you don't need to be a quick swimmer, you just need to not be the slowest in the water, so away we go. Oh, and by the way, guys, if you're going to be doing any filming at night with your Ace Pro 2, I would strongly recommend getting yourself a little light. You don't need anything particularly powerful because the Ace Pro 2's low light capabilities are so good. So just get yourself a cheap one. Blimey.
Now, guys, the only action cameras I use underwater these days are the Insta360 Ace Pro 2s. I would show you one just here, but it's currently filming me. I love them for loads of reasons. Firstly, their low light performance is absolutely insane, aided by their dual AI chip and sensor system. They're also aided by something called, hang on, just getting comfortable, something called pure video mode, which makes the footage look awesome even in the worst lighting conditions. I mean, it's currently very dark here in Indonesia, and the footage looks great. Pure video mode does both AI noise reduction and enhanced brightness inside the camera. Literally all of the Ace Pro 2 footage shot in this video is straight out of the camera. You really don't need to spend hours editing footage after the dive. So depending on what mode you're shooting in, you can easily get 2+ hours of footage off a single battery. They seem to last forever. When it eventually goes flat, you plug it back in for about 45 minutes and it's back to 100% again. Oh, and the Ace Pro 2, of course, has its own dedicated underwater housing, which can go down to 60 meters or, what does it say, 197 feet. And it's also got 2 mount points, so you can mount it this way to shoot landscape or this way to shoot portrait for social media. Guys, if you're in the market for a new action camera, scan the QR code that I think is here. Insta360 support does make these videos possible, of course, but I've used a ton of different action cameras now, and I definitely won't be moving away from the Ace Pro 2 anytime soon. As you can probably imagine, these videos are pretty tough to make, so it's important I've got a camera that never misses any of the action, including the next creature that showed up.
Oh, yes! Oh, look at this thing! Now this is a true nocturnal species, and this is one of my favourite things to find at night. Oh, and it's so perfectly demonstrating what it does best. This is the basket starfish. Now these basket starfish come out at night to feed, and as you can see by the speed at which this one's retreating, they don't really like light because they associate it with daytime, which is when they should go back into hiding. So at the moment, this one's making a run for it. I think I'm right in saying these starfish have 10 arms. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Maybe it's 8. No. I don't know. Somewhere between 8 and 10. And each of these frilly arms picks off organic matter as it floats through the water column. And then they deliver it to the mouth, which is somewhere here.
But other creatures that emerge at midnight on the deep reef have traded long arms for intelligent tentacles.
Oh, look at this. Oh, wow. I'm not sure he's going to let me get close, but we'll try. Hang on. Need to go full extension on the old stick for this one. The Ace Pro's coming into full force here. Oh, don't swim away from me. Don't swim away from me. Oh, up towards the surface. Wow. It's like a mythical beast.
These big fin reef squids typically hover in open water during the day, heading closer to the reef at night to feed, and they're surprisingly fast.
Oh! Look at this guy! Oh, he's gonna dance for me! Oh! Hello, Mr. Big Fin Reef Squid! Wow, he's off! Oh, this is ink! Wow, that was pretty funny! Where did he even come from?
On these reefs at midnight, you're never far from a cephalopod.
Oh, look at this guy just here! What a fantastic little day octopus this is! He's a bit nervous though. He's in very shallow water. He's probably thinking about going for a hunt. Although these are called day octopus because they do actively forage or hunt during the day, they're, like lots of octopus species, more of a nocturnal hunter.
But are they? Or is this a recent change? Octopus are very heavily fished on these reefs. It's possible that these day octopus have learned that hunting at night is safer. Another, more interesting theory is the daytime hunting gene has been fished out. Individuals that emerge from cover in the middle of the day are easily caught, whereas those that wait till midnight have a higher survival rate. Selective pressures like this directly drive the evolution of species, favouring individuals with a survival or reproductive advantage. That being said, predators are also most active when their prey is most easily found and captured. Octopus love crustaceans, and at midnight, the reef is covered in them, although some are definitely way too large to be consumed.
Oh my word, look at the size of this thing! Oh my word, that is the biggest crab I've ever seen in my life! Look at the size of this thing! Oh my word! Oh, that thing would take your hand off! Oh my word. I'm gonna go and shake its hand. Oh, what's he chomping down on? Hopefully he's got a full stomach. That thing is enormous! What the?
This is the splendid coral crab. Now, these crabs are very interesting for a few reasons. Firstly, although they might look like a gourmet meal, they're actually considered poisonous and unsafe to eat, likely accumulating toxins in their tissues from their diet. They're also sometimes referred to as red spooner crabs, but not for this reason, but because of the unique shape of the tips of their claws that are hollowed out like spoons. This adaptation helps them scrape algae and small organisms off the surface and rocks and corals to feed on. Other large crustaceans also use the cover of darkness to feed, although use different weaponry. This spotted coral crab isn't armed with spoons, but enormous crushing claws used for breaking open the shells of mollusks and crustaceans. These too can accumulate dangerous levels of saxitoxin and tetrodotoxin. In fact, it seems many creatures that patrol the reefs at midnight are both supersized and toxic, but this phenomenon doesn't just apply to the crustaceans.
What the? Oh my word, look at this thing! What is... That is the strangest nudibranch I've ever seen in my life! What is that?
This enormous nudibranch likely belongs to the Dendrodoris genus, with a mantle nearly a foot long. This is one of the biggest slugs that patrols these reefs at midnight. Like most brightly coloured creatures in the ocean, their vibrant green flesh is a good indicator of the potency of the toxins they harbour. At the front of their body are a pair of sensory rhinophores used to detect chemicals in the water, and at the rear of the mantle sits a branchial plume, a cluster of feathery gills used for respiration. Other slugs have very different respiratory anatomies though.
So this old turd-looking thing is a pluribranch or a side-gilled slug. Looks a little bit like a nudibranch. We've got the little two rhinophores at the front, but, well actually, no. No, it is a pluribranch. The side-gilled slugs have a gill that is on the side of their body somewhere.
At midnight, the ocean floor is covered in unusual slugs. Whilst large nudibranchs and pluribranchs patrol the reef, the sand hosts smaller variants, some boasting vibrant colours, others less so. Enormous snails and cowries also capitalise during the early hours, when the fish with large crushing teeth are either hiding, resting, or otherwise preoccupied, like this one.
Oh, here's a big old boy. Look at the size of this guy. Now the puffers are really easy to identify because they're just named based on the colour of the spots they've got on them. So this guy's got blue spots, therefore blue-spotted pufferfish. Oh, he's coming right for me. Blimey. What's he doing? Off he goes into the abyss. Selfie. Nice. Right, stop messing around, Barney. This is a serious mission. What's next? Anything interesting?
And, well, yes, definitely.
What on earth is that? Oh, wow, look at this thing. I have never seen that fish before.
I believe this is the goat's beard brochula, a cusk eel that, unlike its relatives, can, it seems, be found in the shallows. In fact, the only time I've ever recorded cusk eels here is on one of my baited cameras, in the middle of the night, 150 metres below the surface. Despite having dived this area over 500 times, there's always something new to discover. I wonder what we'll find next. If you're new here, make sure to hit that subscribe button. And if you want to check out what else patrols these reefs at night, I'm 100% sure you will love this video.